We need to continue to encourage people who tether to these false narratives. How do we get to this story? And I'm like, I have no idea why this is the one that captured people's hearts, except that there is something in it, right? Whatever the emerging stories are, there's something in it that they think will satisfy. And whatever it is that they think will satisfy, that deep longing, it's gonna grab some aspect of the true story of the world, right? The true story of the world is the gospel, right? And all of these competing, last thing is all these competing narratives are going to grab some aspect of that true story of the world, but it's just not going to fully satisfy. So we need to continue to encourage people who tether to these false narratives to untether and continue that sort of journey to find that true story of the world. So
Yeah, so let's get into how to tell that true story that is deeply satisfying. And this is one of the things that I just found very helpful in your book, Cultural Apologetics, is to show that giving an account for the Christian faith and explaining our hope therein isn't just about showing why it is true, but it is also showing why it is deeply satisfying. So I am, yes, convinced that the Christian story is true and it is satisfying. And as I orient myself in light of that reality and follow the teachings of Jesus, it doesn't equal happiness, but it does lead to joy and deep satisfaction. So even if we don't understand fully why other stories are capturing people's minds or being able to really put our finger on all the reasons why we are where we are, I think we can still figure out a way forward. So I don't know if this is a fair way to get into it. It's pretty broad, but what's some of the keys here for Christians moving forward in being able to tell the true story and to demonstrate how good it is in this world?
good. Yeah. So the broad answer, four words pop into my mind: be, live, show, and create. So and I'll just say a little bit about each and we can then go wherever you want. But one of the surprises of writing that book, Cultural Apologetics, was I realized so many of the cultural ills or this image problem, like the 6 things that JP listed in that Ford, the image problem that Christianity has right now with culture. I kind of lay them at our feet, namely the church, Christians, us, me. Like we need to be people who are like Christ, right? And we're just as fragmented, right, as our non-believing neighbors. We're just as anti-intellectual as the general culture, right? We have just as unbaptized an imagination as the rest of the world, right? So we need to be the kinds of people that God has called us to be, right? And that there's a whole lot that we could say there. And I guess the live would be that we need to live the kind of life that's attractive, right? That it's true to the way the world is, but true to the way the world is, that it's actually a kind of like, think of, is it 1 Corinthians 4, like, the aroma of Christ kind of life. Show, right? We need to work at telling and helping people see the goodness, truth, and beauty of the gospel in a culture that's no longer biblically illiterate. And so part of the project of my book is to help expand the resources and the kind of planks that we can walk as we build bridges to Jesus and the gospel, not just the rational plank, right, giving arguments, but doing them in a way that engages the imagination and the conscience. And we can talk about that. And then lastly, create. I've been thinking a lot about this last piece. One of the fun things in the book was talking about the plank of the imagination on its quest toward beauty, which ultimately terminates in Christ, the source of beauty. And a lot of people have been asking me about that kind of plank and this connection between beauty, art, and the imagination. And I'm just convinced, the more that I've been thinking about this and this idea that we're narratival animals that locate our lives within a story, that we're moved by the aesthetic currency, right? Why? Partly because we're created in the image of a creating God. And so we're to have a posture toward culture of creating and cultivating the good, the true, and the beautiful. As Annie Crouch puts it, if we want to change culture, you need to make culture. And we make culture by creating in the derivative mode in the image of the creating God.